Welcome to Better, the podcast about doing better, being better, and leaving the world a better place than we found it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Better, Do Better, Be Better, Make the World a Better Place. My name is Jay. I'm your host, and man, it is hard out there, isn't it? I mean, the things that are happening in this world right now, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, regardless of how hard you're working, it just feels like it's really hard to get ahead, huh? And I've been talking to a lot of people lately because when this airs, my book release will be long gone, and The Last First Date will be available on Amazon, ebook, paperback, and hardcover. Audiobook coming soon. But I'm doing the book release right now. The book release party's on Sunday. It's Tuesday today, and I'm talking to people about coming out and having a good night with good vibes. And people don't even seem to remember what that's like anymore. I was talking to somebody and I said, I'm going to put in the email, no politics, let's just have a good time. And they said, I can't remember the last time I went anywhere where I didn't have to get, get into these insane conversations about politics. It made me think. I was like, when's the last time I did it? And then I made a conscious effort the other night. I have a friend who I always talk politics with. We are not diametrically opposed. I've had him on the show, Chris Singh. But he is more I'm definitely in the center, but if I'm ever have leanings, I usually lean left. He's pretty center, and if he has leanings, he generally leans right. And I made a conscious decision the last conversation I had with him not to talk politics, and man, what a different tone. It's crazy. And this kind of ties into this episode. And by the way, before we get too far into it, please subscribe. And you can go to betterpodcast.live. That has all of our feeds, all of our social media, everything. Whatever you follow us on, whatever you listen or watch this podcast on, thank you. So, when I'm thinking about how hard it is, I think about, how accepted it has become not to do better. On both sides of the political spectrum, since it seems everybody's defining them by whether they're left or right these days, defining themselves and others. On both sides of the spectrum, there's a real problem with defining ourselves by abortion, okay, or abortion, the devil's calling, guns or no guns. All these different, we're defining ourselves by policy and issues without really thinking what that does to our character, what that does to our value set, what that does to our psyche. And I was having a conversation with another friend. Her name is Lindsay. And I've known Lindsay since she was young because she used to come to my under 18 events that I threw. And now she's married, and it's a kid. She just and she's very self-aware, very aware of the world around her. So we're having this conversation, talking, and she's like, yeah, I can't come to the book party, so I won't be in town. Like, that's fine. So we get into these conversations about the world, and she's very concerned about the way things are going and how polarizing everything is. And we got in the conversation about the hard work to heal. And ultimately, I could have called this podcast Healing, but I don't think that would have been very catchy title. But that's essentially what being better is. It's healing. It's growing. It's moving past who and what you are to become better. So, there's a core tenet that I think, a core characteristic of being better, of healing, and that is determination. we're so determined to focus on and so determined to define ourselves by these political issues, the left and the right, and which media outlets we watch or listen to, and which politician we relate to the most, as if any politician could relate to us fully. Um, that we forget that in order for us to be better people and to be to have better lives, we need to be determined to define what that is. Outside of all of that, that's all noise, guys. It's all, and I worked in politics and I worked on both sides of the aisle. And I'm so tired I'm so tired of, like, I stay up to date, I stay current, because I really believe that the world in the next, little while here is going to be confronted with a real choice. And if we stay complacent and we stay determined to be defined by our political differences and our political beliefs, holy shit, are we going to fail this test? We're putting our determination in the wrong place. Our determination should be to be the people we want to be, not to force others to be the people we want them to be. It's insane. I don't get it. I don't understand why people are so caught up in, if you're gay, that's wrong. If you get an abortion, you're wrong. We're acting like we're in these people's heads and we're in their lives and we understand all their struggles. We're determined to judge people when we don't even judge ourselves anymore. And the reason we don't do that is because we're not willing to put in the hard work, the determination to be the best us we can be. If being the best you that you can be is being someone that understands that under certain circumstances, abortion is something that is required, okay. If being the best you can be is to say you will never get an abortion no matter what happens, no matter if you're raped, no matter if you are sexually assaulted by a family member, no matter what, okay. But here's the important thing. In order for you to be better, you need to have the determination to judge yourself and to leave others out of it. I think when I think about the big issues in life, I think about the reasons we can't solve them. And I think a large part of it is, man, we haven't solved what's inside of us yet. A lot of us, we're not looking inward, we're looking outward, and we're judging outward without ever being honest with ourselves. And this whole journey, this whole better thing, this whole podcast, it's all therapy for me. I'm selfish in doing this, guys. I mean, I love when I hear from people and they say, man, you really hit a chord with me on that last podcast, or that guest you had. Wow, what an interview. But this is a selfish endeavor for me because I'm just trying to be as good as I can be. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. And this podcast helps me do it. It makes me think of things differently. It makes me try to achieve things that I normally wouldn't even think of to achieve. And I kind of look at the world and I say, if we keep defining ourselves by our political differences, it means we're going to keep defining ourselves by our judgment of others. And I think it's more important that we judge ourselves. We come up with our core values, our core characteristics, our core character, and we build that and we govern ourselves accordingly, and we leave everybody else the fuck alone. I mean, I don't know how else to put that. I'm frustrated. This topic is so frustrating to me. The determination to be better, because I'm sitting here and I'm trying, and I'm amongst a community of people just trying to do that, and other people are tearing them down because of what they've chosen to make a part of their better journey for themselves. Nobody cares. Stop judging other people. All you're doing is building a complex for people and leading them down a dark hole. What is wrong with you? Why are you so empty that you have to judge others to feel like you're doing something? You do you. You've heard that expression, you do you, you do you. Honestly, that's being better is to be happier. I understand both sides of the abortion debate. I understand people say, well, it's a woman's body. She should be able to choose what she does with it. 100%. I also understand people that are raised to believe that life starts at conception. And saying, well, science says doesn't work because they're not scientific thinkers. They're usually God-fearing. And they believe that their God says that abortion is wrong. For them. That's my point. You know, it's, you may think it's evil, and you may think that that other person who's getting an abortion is going to hell. Nobody cares what you think, and nobody should, unless something affects the whole, like COVID, getting vaccinated, masking up, washing your hands, social distancing, those sorts of things, where you're actually helping other people. Unless it's something like that, like a public health risk or something. And I know there's a whole other thing about that. But unless it's something like that, what the person is doing is not affecting you. So stop it. All you're telling me and all you're telling the world is that you are not ready. You do not have the determination to be a better person because you're spending so much time worrying about everybody else. This person right here isn't growing, isn't getting better. Now, this can be applied to small things and big things. And I have a better moment from an actress, now a dancer, and it kind of lends into her better moment story. Just a pretty lovely person. I really like her, and I'm happy that she was able to do this better moment. And her name is Emily Peachey. If you don't know her, look her up on IMDb or Google or ChatGPT or whatever the hell you're using to search with these days. Here she is to talk about, her determination to be better. And this is a small example, but it's a great example. All right, so let's check out Emily Peachey's better moment.
Hi, Jay. Yes, I can absolutely tell you about a time I needed to do better. So I was in the first two Step Up movies, the dance movies, and I was auditioning for the first one, and I was so much younger than everybody else. Everybody else was like 20, and I was like 13. And they were giving us these dance routines and just throwing them out there at us. And I obviously wasn't as good as everybody else because I was so much younger. But I was determined that I wanted a part in this movie. So on our break, I literally just regrouped, meditated a little bit, and was like, I need to go back in there and just literally step it up. And I just dug deep. I was like, I want this. This is how I'm going to do it. And I gave it my all, and I ended up getting the part. So it doesn't matter about like your setbacks or, the cards that you're dealt. Like I said, I was much younger. I was at a huge disadvantage. You just got to dig deep. And for me, meditation works a lot. So I hope that helps.
Okay, so like I said, small things, big things. Everything she just said applies to everything we do in life. Doesn't matter the cards you're dealt. None of that matters. Doesn't matter that those people who are older than her. None of it matters. All that matters is what she chose to do in that situation. She chose to do what she had to do to be better. She chose to have the determination to look inward and figure out how to solve the problem. And I would really like a world where people thought that way. And we used to think that way. We used to be a people that looked at ourselves and said, what can I do today to make myself better and to drive my life forward? And now we're a people that say, what can I do today to stir shit up? And I'm not saying everybody, of course. And every episode that I have, I end up saying that, there are exceptions to the rule, or maybe this isn't the rule. Maybe this is the exception. But there's a lot of people out there that are waking up every day to figure out how they can define themselves by their political differences. There are people that wake up every day wondering how they can own the libs. There's people wake up every day wondering how they're going to be able to connect Hitler to Trump. There are people who wake up every day who make it their life's mission to go out and protest an abortion clinic or Planned Parenthood, or, and I mean, yeah, you have to stand up for causes, but do you have to stand up for causes that are full of judgment? I've stood up for causes before. I love advocacy work. I advocated for a fair contract for nurses in Manitoba. I advocated for ride sharing to get into Manitoba and the disbandment of the taxi cab board because there were so many women being attacked by taxi cab drivers in our city, and there was just no safe systems involved with our taxi cabs. There was no standardization of safety, and the people that were at the top of it were very corrupt. I'm not trying to say I'm superior in any way, guys, but look at what those two things have in common. They are to help others, not to tear down, not to judge. So I guess what I'm trying to say, if I'm trying to say anything, is this. Wake up every day. Try this. Try this for 28 days, or I think they said 28 days make something a habit. Wake up every day. If you got to put in your phone, if you got to put a sticky note on your ceiling above your bed, whatever, wake up every day determined to do you do you better. Okay? So if you're a person who's going out and protesting abortion clinics, don't do that. Look inward. What is something that you need to do to make yourself better? Maybe you need to work on your maybe you want to acquire a new skill. Maybe you want to learn about AI. Maybe you want to learn how to dance. Maybe you want to learn how to meditate. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you have a problem with the way you respond in anger. Maybe you have a problem with lying. Maybe you have a problem with drugs. Maybe there's a million things. We all have things we need to work on. I've been working on myself for years now, and I've got a list so long. So just wake up every day, put all of that external shit to the side, and just think to yourself, what can I do today? What can I draw my determination? What can I absolutely set my sights on to make myself better? And let those other people doing whatever they're doing do what they got to do. And in the abortion example, if you believe they're going to go to hell for it, fine. They know what you believe, and they don't believe it. Maybe one day you get to say, I told you so. I don't know, but who cares? Okay. So pull that determination, start your mission to get better. Say sorry to yourself or sorry to others who you have hurt. Take actions to do better. Get that grit, build it up, just really work on it. Work on yourself and leave all the noise to the side. Stay educated, stay informed about what's happening in this world. But don't define yourself by judgment and hate and tearing people down. It's just not productive. And you are going to be so mad at yourself when you are an old person on your last days and you look back and your contribution to this world was to tear others down. Well, you knew you had all these things you would have loved to have done, you would have loved to worked on, you would have loved to have reshaped and refocused. I don't want that for you. I want you, I want me, I want everybody to look back on our lives and say, we ended up being the best version of ourselves. We lived our lives the way our instincts, our values, and our core character understood the world to be. We didn't stand above others and step on them like they're an ant. I want that for you. I want that for me. I want that for everybody. So let me know what you think. Leave comments. How are you going to do better? How are you going? And how are you going to get the determination to do that? What are you going to do? Because, you could look at it and say, I want to do better, and then never do it. It requires determination. So how are you going to move yourself forward in the direction of being better for yourself and leaving the external forces behind? Leave the comment. Let me know. Share with the community. And I hope that you can do better, be better. And if it's your mission to make the world a better place by just being the best you can be and letting everybody else do the same. BetterPodcast.live, that's our website. Check it out. It's got everything on there. Later. Thanks for checking out Better. If you got to the end, it must mean you liked the episode, right? So how about 5 stars? Maybe a sub, maybe a share. Great universal comment points. And good luck on your better journey.